Hello everyone and welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's a match preview of Ham United against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Yes, I know the Europa League draw was all exciting, but it's back to the Premier League for the time being. Anyway, Gonzo, can I get your thoughts as always on our opponents, please?
Yeah, they're the new Leicester. Without winning the league title or the FA Cup, I guess. They're doing very, very well. An excellent, well-organised football team, and a lot of praise for the manager because he's doing it with somebody else's players, and with something we talk about with David Moyes quite a lot. He's still playing with Pellegrini's players. Sounds wrong. He's still using Pellegrini's purchases and so on and so forth, for want of a better way of putting it. And obviously, what's his name again? Large. Give it a large one. What's his name?
Bruno Lage.
Bruno Lage. And we think we're massive. He really is. It's in the name. He's come in, somebody else's players. Very defensive. Don't have a lot of possession a lot of the time. But my word, it's effective. Very, very good team. The surprise package this season.
Yeah, I've been thoroughly impressed by them, actually. As the season's gone on, I've got more and more impressed. I think the reason it works, him using Nuno's players, is there's a lot of similarities. I think Nuno was more sit back, soak up the pressure, and then in the second half change something and try and go and get the win. I think Lage is almost the complete opposite of that, which is get out early, get the goal, then sit back and soak up the pressure. But there's a lot of similarities between how they both play. And I think what impresses me with Wolves is out of possession, very well organised, very hard to break down. One of the better defence records in the Premier League. Don't concede goals from set pieces either. Very, very organised out of possession. But in possession, it's a bit Liverpool for me. The reason that the one thing that impressed both of us when Liverpool won the title in the year that they finished second was the way they could score goals through various options. They were going down the wing, wasn't working, that's fine. We can play counter-attack and football, we can do that. Wolves have got a little bit of like that, on a lesser scale and slightly lesser ability, of course, but they can sit back and defend, they can play counter-attack and football, they're good in possession of the ball as well. Actually, there's not that many weaknesses in this Wolves team. I think the difference between how Liverpool did it in Wolves is you couldn't stop Liverpool's strengths, whereas Wolves are a little bit goal shy. I think if there's any criticism of them, is they could probably do with being a little bit more prolific down the other end of the goal, and that might be what costs them from turning this from a good season into an excellent season. But Bruno Lage, though, are you surprised by how well he's done?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not going to pretend to have predicted this at all. Yeah, I think he's done remarkably well, and you hear him speak. He's very confident as well. He does a good interview. And I don't know anything about him. I don't know where they plucked him from, but I thought fair play. They've clearly got something there, Wolves. They clearly have a structure, a recruitment. It seems sometimes you look at Watford, you look at the madness of Watford, and you think, what are they doing? But Wolves, there's a sort of calm, assured nature to the way they go about their business, I think. And there's a lot to be admired there. I would be a very, very happy boy if I was a Wolves fan at the moment, because for the majority of my life, Wolves I think they had a period of success in the 50s. I might be wrong. I think they used to be a very, very big team. But for the majority of my life, people are always talking about, that big team. Wolves are a big team, but they're one of those big teams. They might talk about Sheffield Wednesday now, big team, but they're down in the lower leagues, but they're a big club. And I always heard that about Wolves. They're a big club. And they were never up in the top division, once in a while and then back down again. And if I was a Wolves fan now, I'd be thinking, well, this is it. This is, again, I talk about it quite a lot. I talk about it vast with Crystal Palace. As in my memory, this is the longest I can remember Wolves being in and around the top division. I think it seems that way anyway. So fair play, mate. Fair play to them.
Plucked him where they plucked everything else from, which is Portugal.
I think
he won the title with Benfica over there. But I agree with you. There's just a sense of calmness. Even last season, everyone knew Nuno was leaving at the end of the season. People knew that was fine. But there was no worry. It was like, that's fine. We'll identify the man we want to take us going forward. We'll go get him. And at the same time, while they were doing that, you had Everton didn't really know who they wanted, couldn't really get who they wanted. Crystal Palace tried to get Nuno in, couldn't get Nuno in, so they ended up with Vieira. And it felt like every team was ending up with their second or third choice manager, whereas Wolves identified him, went and got him. Perfect. He's come in. Very, very impressed by what he's done.
Yeah.
Now we'll talk about how Wolves are going to do for the rest of the season in just a minute. Before we do, but point in the direction of the channel sponsor, WHUWOL. The app can be downloaded via the link, which is in the description or the pinned comments. We make it simple for you here at Hammer's Chat to download it. Just scroll down the video. There's a pinned comment by Hammer's Chat. Click on it. There's one URL in it. Just click on that. It takes you to the App Store. It's completely free to download. It takes about 5 seconds, maybe 10, depends on your varying broadband speeds. There you go. Gonzo's giving you a demonstration for you there. But when you download it, it says, "Oh, what's your favourite team?" You can pick Wolves and keep up to date with the latest injury news there. You can download, you can pick West Ham, keep up to date with the latest transfer rumours. There's always transfer rumours if you're a West Ham fan. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is, there's always transfer rumours. There you go. Transfer rumours for you there. Link is in description, pin comments. Get it downloaded today.
It's good.
You finished?
Yeah.
Right. Will they get European football? As we speak, they were banging form, right in the mix. Bit of a dent in the road last night away to Arsenal, conceding very late on. But they're still up there, Gonzo. It's like a 5-horse race between us Wolves, Arsenal, Tottenham, and Man United, vying for that 4th, 5th, and 6th spots in the Premier League. Will they get European football? And if you're going to say yes, which one?
I'm going to look. I'm looking at the table right now, and I'm going to make a decision. So, do we think 7th gets European football?
Depends on the FA Cup winner.
Okay, if 7th gets European football, Wolves will get European football. If it's only the top 6, Wolves will not get European football. And you heard it here first. Wolves to finish 7th, basically.
I think they'll get some form of European football. They're far more impressive at the minute than, to be honest with you, than Tottenham. And while Arsenal beat them last night, I think I've been more impressed by Wolves than Arsenal of late as well, to be honest with you. And I include ourselves in Man U there too. Out of the 5 teams I mentioned, they're the ones I look at thinking they've got their stuff together. The rest of us seem to have something going wrong. Wolves are the ones that you look at and think, there you go, there's a well-organised, steady Eddie team just going about their business under the radar. If they can get a tune out of Jimenez, get him scoring goals, I think they'll get European football, and I think they will get European football, Gonzo. Last question on the Wolves, though. Can I get any players you admire, please?
Lots of them. I like a right back, Geo, and Semedo has been one that I've always liked. I like Daniel Podence. Ever since you and I played FIFA, and you cheated by boosting his stats and made him 100 for speed. No, I actually saw him and realised he was 100 for speed when I saw him in real life. So he's very good, and I like the midfielders. Of course, they're excellent. I'm going to leave you the one that's just come back from injury, because I know you want to talk about him. I'm sure you will.
How do you know that?
You like it. I know you like a bit of him. So, mate, many good players. Really, really good players. Almost too many to mention. Dendonker's a good guy, in the middle as well as a stopper. But they can really mix it up. There's a lovely blend when you think of they've got these sort of defensive type players, but then these twisty, turny, little fast, skillful speed merchants as well. It's going to be hard for them because obviously they've lost their best player to Barcelona in the last transfer window. So, but they're going to have to try and do as best they can.
For context, Wolves fans, we've had years and years gone by on this channel. We've had discussions and disagreements with Adama Traore. Gonzo loves him. I'm not his biggest fan. Saying that, he got a couple of assists in the Europa League on Thursday night. Finally, he's probably done more for Barcelona than he ever did for Wolves in about a month. Anyway, the 2 players I pick out from Wolves, actually, there were 3. First off is Neto. That's the one Gonzo's referring to. Oh, I just love him. I think he's absolute class. I hope he doesn't start on Sunday, just back from a lengthy injury. But when I was talking earlier about the need to start getting goals, get some goals and they'll do well, I think he's the solution. Get him back to the team. He can score goals, he can set up goals. He's just such a technically gifted footballer. He's just one of those. He's a bit like Lanzini is to us. He's one of those players that's just beautiful to watch play football. Twisty, turny, creative, fast, skillful. Oh, I'm dreading it. If he's played on Sunday, I am dreading him. Pardon me, going up against Anna Creswell. I hope he does not play. The other one I want to talk about is Kilman. I think he's England's best centre back this season. Him and
Was
Adam
good,
Webster
against us, wasn't he? Was really good against
those
us.
two centre backs. Those two centre backs are the ones I think should be vying for a spot in Gareth Southgate's next squad, actually, because we know that who will get in through reputation and trust from the manager, if you like. But I think Kilman has been absolutely brilliant for Wolves. Every time I watch him, he just impresses more and more. A real nice ball-playing centre-back there. You know, he's playing on the wrong side of the back three as well, technically, but what a luxury it is for Wolves to have him there. He's worth tens and tens of millions. If Wolves ever do cash in on him, they'll get a lot of money for that player. Probably a future captain as well, where if Connor Cody ever departs Wolves or hands the captain's armband over to someone, while they've still got Moutinho and Neves in the middle, you can see Kilman picking up that armband as well. I just think he's a tremendous player. And lastly, Jose Sa, the keeper. I think if you were to do a signing of the season team or something, I think everybody would pick Ramsdale. I think Jose Sa walks over him, to be honest with you. His long kicks worries me a little bit. A couple of assists to his name. He's got more assists than Adama Traore had at Wolves this season. Doesn't mind running to the edge of these box and belting it down the park. But when you've got Podence and Neto to aim for, why not? Makes sense. Get the fast ones running. Anyway, that'll do enough Wolves talk. We're going to discuss West Ham. But before we do, because it's a home game at London Stadium, that means our boats are running. They're open from 11 a.m. with there being a 2 p.m. kickoff all the way through till 6 p.m. Closes for the duration of the game. The boats are just 2 minutes from the London Stadium on the canal behind the East Stand. So if you come from Westfields, once you pass the swimming pool or aquatic centre, as Gonzo will correctly call it, on the main bridge, just look to your right-hand side, you'll see a cluster of barge boats. You cannot miss them. Just go around, head down. But you do need a ticket. However, the tickets are completely free for this event. Again, the link is in the description in the pinned comments. Just scroll down, click on it, register. It'll ask you for a forum ID. Just put in your YouTube username. That will work. Get your ticket. Come down. You can join us for a barbecue and a beer before the game on Sunday afternoon. Right then, team news quickly for West Ham. Vladimir Soufal has undergone surgery, and David Moyes has confirmed he will be missing for a few weeks. So we do not have Soufal available for selection. We also don't have Andrei Yarmolenko for obvious reasons. David Moyes has confirmed today that Andrei Yarmolenko has been given a few days off by the club. Gonzo. It's a big game, this. Normally I ask you about individual players or positions. It's a hard one to kick off, really, because I feel we've essentially got 3-4 games until the Europa League. I almost think it's like auditions for the Europa League to some extent. I think Moyes has got to find out something, get something that works, so that when we go to Sevilla, we've got a chance. And I think over the next couple of Premier League games and the FA Cup game in between, I think it's about trying something new to some extent. Let's start with your goalkeeper then. Who would you like to see in goal?
Areola.
We're flip-flopping.
Yeah, but it's not too flip-flop, but you're right, we are. I want to shake it up, and I think I want to be able to... Look, if we are a counter-attacking team, which I think we are, not that that's going to be that easy against Wolves, because we may well have more possession than Wolves. That may happen in this game. That being said, if we do get a counter-attack, I want the ball distributed quickly, so I would choose Areola.
Yeah, I would as well. I wasn't convinced by Fabianski in the last game, and like I said, ahead of the Europa League game, it'd be interesting to see who Moyes opts for in the Europa League one. I think in the FA Cup we'll see Areola in goal, but I would like to see Areola in for this one. I would leave him in. I would leave him in and say you're starting in Sevilla. As long as you have good games between now and Sevilla, you're starting in that game. Get him in there and get him used to the defence in front of him as well. But you said shake up. Now, I imagine that doesn't mean you swap the goalie and that's it, because that's not really much of a shake-up, is it? So what formation would you like to see us play against Wolves?
Well, I'm going to go with the same formation, unfortunately, because I would change it if it wasn't for the problem at fullback, because I can't use Johnson at left-back for this one, because I'm not going to play Ryan Fredericks at right wing-back. There's no point. I can't keep...
give me a back four then. I think I can
Johnson, Dawson, Zuma, Cresswell.
Interesting. See, I have changed it completely. I've gone for back three.
I understand.
But I had the worries that you did, which is, well, how do you work the personnel then? Because the personnel doesn't really work, because Masuaku's back. But I don't want to use Masuaku. I don't want to use Ryan Fredericks. I'm always ruling them out. And it's process of elimination. And then you have the Aaron Creswell problem because his best position when you play back three isn't left wing back, it's left centre back. So can you do that? I'm going to proper mix up. I've gone for back three of Kurt Zuma, Craig Dawson, and Ben Johnson. I put Ben Johnson at right centre back for this one. We've seen him there before. He's played there before. We have seen him. And I think he's got a lot of sort of plus points for an argument as to why Ben Johnson could play right centre back. And as long as you're one of your back three can travel with the ball and come out from defence with the ball, I think you're okay. I mean, saying that, Wolves don't I wouldn't really say any of them three are ball travellers. They're three centre backs and Kilman, Cody, and Size. But that's what Johnson would do. So I've gone with Creswell left wing back and Harrison Ashby right wing back. We've got a guy in under 23s who the manager said is close to Premier League level, who gets assists, can score goals, good at set pieces. He's impressed whenever he's been in the first team, and that's with a lot of youngsters around him as well on occasions. I would put him in, and that's part of the reason I put Ben Johnson in behind him, just to help him out a little bit. Madness or methods to my TV?
No, I like it. I thought a lot about Ashby. As you know, ever since we put the video up on Patreon of Harrison Ashby's best bits, pardon the expression. It's it's not that kind of Patreon account really. But it was crosses and assists and goals and stuff, in case you're wondering.
And tackle.
Plenty of that, let me tell you. But it was very impressive. And since looking at it, I've decided that I want to see more, and particularly in front of a big audience as well. So I don't blame you for using him.
Well, let's see how you like the midfield to line up then. Give me the rest of your team. Just go for the whole team. What you got?
Okay, I've got Rice and Fornals in central midfield. Lanzini operating just in front. Here you go. I've got Mikel Antonio on the right wing, Bowen up front, and Ben Rama on the left. Unfortunately, no, only because it's not his position. Not you know.
I've got to ask you about the obvious exclusion then. No Thomas Souček.
No Thomas Souček today or whatever Sunday. No, not for this one. I think there's lots of reasons why. I think he's out of form. I think he's the wrong guy for the job, really. In there, if Thomas was just sacrificing his attacking game, and you just have to say, do you know what, mate, you are an outstanding central defensive midfielder, and we've got so sorry you can't play the goals, but you're one of the best in the league at that. But he ain't one of the best in the league at sitting in front of the back four. In fact, people are just running past him and running around him all the time. So you've got to look to do something else. If he was in better form and he had a goal or two, I'd reverse the roles. I'd just say, go on, you get up there and keep getting into the box. But he's out of form. I think you've got to look for high energy. They've got buzzy players as well. Wolves have. And whilst they might not have the outright pace in central midfield that some of the other teams that we've faced recently, like Leicester or Newcastle have got, they do have technical players. They do move. Whilst they might not run quickly, they move the ball quickly. And I just can see him being a bystander in the middle of a triangle or something. So I'd get him out of there. Fornals can be industrious. Rice probably is one of the best defensive midfielders around in Europe. So, and then Lanzini, they're central, and then the front three I've described. But yeah, Thomas Souček, not for this one, mate.
Mine's a bit different to yours. I'd like to see Rice alongside Lanzini in centre midfield for similar reasons to you, actually. I think if there's one centre midfield in the Premier League, you can maybe get away with Lanzini centre midfield. Probably this one, actually. They don't mind a tackle. Moutinho and Neves and possibly Dendoncker. I think this is part of the problem. You don't know if they're going to go 3-4-3 or 3-5-2. You're going to have to guess what Bruno Lage is going to do here. But I expect he might rotate Moutinho, given that they played Thursday, Sunday, and he's getting on a bit, isn't he? But Dendonker's a capable replacement for him. But I think while they are, like I said, tough in the tackle or work hard, they move the ball about well, like you said, they are lacking pace. They're not box-to-box as such. And I wouldn't say they're physically like imposing. They won't bully you or anything like that. So I think if there's one game Lanzini can play in centre midfield and not get hiding, it's probably this one. But ahead of them too, I'd have Thomas Souček. but he's got to play further up the pitch, really. What is Souček's best thing? What's his USP to us? Well, it's his aerial threat. We know that. Well, can we see it, please? Can we have a little bit of it? And if you're going to play wing backs, which is what I'm wanting, then you're going to have to expect crosses. And if you're going to expect crosses, you've got to make sure someone's in the bloody box getting on the end of it. And there's nobody better in our team at it than Souček. Up front, I've got my two up front. I've Jared Bowen and Mikel Antonio. We need to find something that works for Antonio, really, don't we, Gonzo, before Sevilla? We have to find something that works. And the funny thing is, neither of us are dropping him.
But it's just I don't have any choice. This is the thing. I think we both would. I mean, I'm not adverse to dropping people. As you see, I've dropped Souček. I like Souček. But he's out of form, so you drop him. That's what a squad's about. It's not personal and it's not harsh and it's not any of those things. It's just a game of football, and that's why you have a squad. Otherwise, you just have 11 players, wouldn't you? So I think I would drop Antonio if I could, but you can't. I would love that over the last 6 or 7 months that Perkins had come in and he'd played 20 minutes at the end of 10 Premier League games, that he'd started once in Europa and started 3 cup games. Or I would love it if first team wise we'd looked at Perkins and he had played 500 minutes and scored 2 goals or so, and then I would be saying to you, hold on, mate, you know, there's a case for putting this boy in there, but he just hasn't been given enough time. So I just don't think there is any choice with Antonio there. Also, it's not just that. I mean, I've put him on the wing. I've not seen enough of a threat from Vlasic yet to warrant putting him in there. All right, Antonio might be crap at the moment. Let's say that, but I'm not. Vlasic isn't banging on the door saying, "Oi, you know, get me in there." There's no pressure on him, and I would say the same for the left wing. As I say, I think we've got 3 players who can play left wing. None of them are left wingers, so you know, it ain't great, really, is it? But Bowen's got to go up front for me.
Yeah, I think one thing we do agree, though, is we've got to try something with Antonio. We can't just play this 4-2-3-1 and leave him up front again. That's, you know, you've moved him to the right wing. I've given him an extra person up front alongside him to hopefully get the better out of him. We've got to find a solution for Antonio before Sevilla. The other thing is, I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but we've got Southampton in the FA Cup game coming up midweek after this game. The expectation, I think, would be that Antonio doesn't play a minute of that game, that we have someone else in there. Antonio's really got to impress on Sunday because, for example, if Moyes sticks with his usual formation and team lineup and Antonio's up front in his own, doesn't do well on Sunday, then we play Southampton and he perhaps puts Jared Bowen or Vlasic up front against Southampton and they score a couple of goals. Suddenly, Antonio's under threat then because at the minute, like we're discussing, there's no evidence really to suggest that there's somebody that can take his spot. But the FA Cup game is an opportunity for someone to go in there and say, "Aye, David Moyes, actually, take me to Sevilla. Don't take him. Put him on the bench. He's out of form. Take me. Put me up front. I'll score goals for you." So this is a big game for Antonio. Out of everybody that we've spoken about, I think he's the one that attention is on a little bit. Are you confident for this one?
I wouldn't say I'm confident, no, but I think there are things that I can't believe it will persist. I don't think we're in a slump between now until the end of the season. I think we're slow. I think we're slow to react. I think what David Moyes said, he suddenly sounded like the penny had dropped. And also, if you listen to Souček, I think Souček will play because what Souček was saying, which has been working on new things, a different way of playing, which would indicate that we are working on a different way of playing and that Souček's involved. That's what I took from those comments. So, confident? No, but I'm not doom and gloom either. I don't feel defeated before we started, particularly given that they've just played.
I do feel doom and gloom. I'll be honest with you. I do. I think they've got the best defence, one of the best defences in the league. I think I could be wrong. I think only Man City have got a better defence than them in the league. Conceded the least number of goals from set pieces. That's our backup plan. That's our thing. Our thing is scoring set pieces. Where we come up against a team, I think they've conceded 1 goal from a set piece all season. That is ridiculous. That is. There's no hope there for me. When we get a corner, and I'm like, here we go. On Sunday, I'm going to be like, we've got a corner, brilliant. I'll tell you what, don't want to see a bloody long throw. I need to stick that in the preview somewhere. If I see Antonio going for a long throw and taking his gloves off, I probably wouldn't do anything. I'll probably just remain in my seat watching. However, I won't be very happy remaining in my seat watching. I'll just cover my eyes so to witness it. But honestly, Gonzo, I don't have any confidence. I don't think Moyes is going to change anything. I think we'll see 4-2-3-1. I think we'll see Johnson right back because he has to. It's now default because Fredericks is so bad. So if I was injured, you're just going to have to play Ben Johnson. We'll see Dawson, Zuma, Creswell, Rice, Souček. Then we'll see Bowen, Fornals, Vlasic. He won't play Ben Rama because he had a row when he came off the pitch. So Vlasic will probably get his chance, and Antonio will be up front. I think that's what we'll do. We'll play a 4-2-3-1, and I think we'll be going back to what we've seen in the last few games, which is lack of creativity, struggling to break a team down. And like you said, we're probably best on the counter attack. Well, this team ain't going to give you that. From the start of the game, maybe 0-0, you've got a chance. But like I said, we know what Bruno Lage likes to do. Go 1-0 up, retreat. Everyone back, and let's just defend because they're good at defending. So let's do it. And Wolves remind me of West Ham last season. We used to go a goal up and sit back, and we were fine with it. So bring it on. Do whatever you want. We've got the best defensive midfielder in the league. We've got centre-backs that will beat anyone in the air. We've got full-backs who, bear in mind, Soufal was Ham of the year in that. We've got fantastic full-backs here. We've got an absolute beast up front who, even though he's got no teammate within 20 yards of him, that's fine. We'll belt it down the pitch and he'll get a throw-in or win a free kick and we'll all move up the pitch. Set pieces, happy days. We're getting a shot from this. We've got a corner, we're having a shot. So someone's getting a shot. That's Wolves this season. I don't have that about West Ham anymore. I am worried. We've got some small advantages. Semedo went off injured against Arsenal, so that's a small advantage. They played on Thursday. They got beaten the last minute. That is a blow. We all know what it's like as a football fan. But I think they almost counteract that feeling by their manager. Listening to him after the game, he got asked about how Arsenal was celebrating like they won the league. And he basically said, good, they've just scored in the last minute. What do you expect them to do? Celebrate it. Go out there and celebrate it. All right, we've conceded. It's not nice. But what do you expect them to do? Stand and clap? No. Celebrate it like you won the league. This is football. And I just thought, bloody hell, that's a manager who's switched on, who's, I'm sure he'll tell a different story to his players, but that's a manager who's taken a defeat on the chin. He's not sitting there grumpy, sitting there saying, my boys played well. They did everything I asked of him. We just got done in the last minute. Fair play, Arsenal. We move on. That's a good reaction from a Wolves standpoint. I'm not confident at all. A big game for Gonzo, for both teams.
Well, yeah, because look at where we both are in the league, for sure. And we're running out of games, really, aren't we? So, a win for one and a defeat for another, you run out of time to claw it back. I just think there's nowhere left to go after this one. And I don't mean in terms of the bigger picture. The Europa League, fantastic. There's there to go. FA Cup, there's there to go as well. But I mean, in terms of the league, in terms of this talk that Cresswell and Souček both said we're still fighting for fourth. Okay. I don't believe it. I don't think Cresswell believes it either. But he's going to say the words. I think if we lose this, you can't even say the words. And I don't think there's nowhere to hide, not even for David Moyes. David Moyes, there's no more excuse that can be used if we lose this one. It is a case of, okay, we are significantly worse than last season in that case, because I mean, David Moyes has spoken on numerous occasions. I know this because I document it and I note it and I do a video about it every time he says it. We have to get those extra 2 points that we were behind, that would last season have meant we'd have finished above Chelsea. He's gone on about it, and every time it's happened, I said, "Hold on, it's not quite like that because mathematically it's different," and I've explained that on numerous occasions. And he's got to stop speaking about that if that happens. And at some point, he's going to have to appreciate that actually something's gone wrong, and that's my point. If we lose this, he has to admit something's gone wrong. Now, that could be any one of the excuses that we all know, which could be January, it could be one striker, small squad, whatever, right? But he can't deny it any longer, and once you admit it, then it becomes a case of you draw a line under it. Okay, what are you going to do now? Now, I think that's already happened. That's my point. I think listening to what they've said is, okay, we've dropped, something's wrong. And I think that's the first part to healing is admitting that something's wrong in that sense. I think they did. I think we are going to see a formation change, by the way. Wouldn't be surprised if he does play Ben Rama, incidentally. I think he's got that about him, just to show how generous of spirit he is in that sense. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Ben Rama. But something's going to change and something's going to give for this one. But it is a massive, massive game for the club, for the players, and for the manager, and of course Wolves as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it is a huge, huge game. Wolves beat us; they go above us with a game in hand.
Yeah,
It's not looking pretty.
yeah,
This is no longer about us getting fourth. This is now about us getting sixth or getting seventh and praying someone wins the FA
yeah.
Cup to allocate us a spot in the European League. Of course, we've got the FA Cup and Europa League, but I just hope the Europa League draw today has fired the boys up a little bit. Look, we've not
Thanks.
played great recently, but look what we're doing in less than 2 weeks'
Yeah,
time. We're going to Sevilla. 11 of you are playing against Sevilla in the Europa League, and a week later you'd be at a full house at London Stadium, put Ibrox on against Dortmund, and say, "Listen to that. That's going to be the London Stadium in a couple of weeks' time. Do you want to be playing or not?" Because your performances on Sunday will very much decide if you're going to be part of that 11 that plays against Sevilla over the 2 games. This is a huge occasion, and West Ham's history, if you like, playing in
yeah.
the knockout stages of the Europa League. They can be part of it. And I want to see a reaction on Sunday. We've got to see a reaction from the players individually, the players as a team, the manager. I'll be honest, if I see the team come out on Sunday and it's what I predicted, part of me will think, "Oh, come on, Dave, mate. You're doing the same thing again. What are you wanting?" There's that saying,
Yeah,
isn't it? Insanity is just doing the same thing over and over, expecting different
yeah.
results. I feel like we've been doing that recently. And I know what Moyes has said, but I've heard Moyes complain after Norwich game about Antonio being tired. Yeah, he's played him in every single game, not taking him off once. Well, it's all very well acknowledging the problems. I think he's done that plenty of occasions, but he's not really done anything about it. At the start of the season, after the Brentford game, Moyes said Souček's not really playing as well as last season, but then he's done
Yes.
nothing about it. Right? Okay, you've acknowledged it, fine, but you've just continued hoping it would sort of fix itself a little bit. So, any final words from yourself and your score prediction, please?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm still looking forward to this game. I'm not going to approach this with trepidation. Far from it. I think we can turn it around. I think we can turn our season around here. I think that would have been really exciting for the players to sit down and watch that draw today. They would have been buzzing. There's no doubt about it. I know we'll discuss it because we've got the European game. We'll have 4 or 5 or 6 videos surrounding those European ties, at least on Ham's chat. But I would like to think that that messaging must be pure and it must be true. What he's going to say is there are places up for grabs in a Sevilla game. He must mean it and it must be true. What we can't do is because if we can sit here and think, well, we know he's going to start against Sevilla, then the squad know it. And the squad must be motivated to think that they can get a place in that team. So it's really important that David Moyes opens it up, as I say, admits the team aren't playing well and say, right, from here, we start from here. This season is not over. We can actually begin the season from here. From this point, we can get European football via the league. We can get into the quarterfinals in Europe if we do it, and we can put ourselves into the hat for the next round of the FA Cup. But it all changes here. Now let's do it. Let's change the thing. Let's do something different. That has to be the messaging. He has to make it seem fresh because we've been stale. Whatever way you want to call it, we have been stale. And he needs to freshen it up now. And that is really, really important. And it starts now. And I think we'll do it. I do. I've got no evidence at all to suggest. All the evidence would suggest Wolves will beat us. But we've been playing well for a long time. And our slump has been a couple of months. I think we've still got some good players there. And if the management do their job, the whole coaching team do their job, then actually I do actually think we can beat Wolves 1-0.
I'm not as confident as you. I think you can probably detect that. I think it's just out of admiration for Wolves, I guess, and being a pessimistic West Ham fan at the minute. I just don't think we've been playing great for a few weeks, and I've seen the same problems and the same poor performers every week. We've now got 7 games in 22 days starting on Sunday. A lot of fixtures in a very small space of time. We need to see plans from the manager, different ones. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, whatever. We need to see variation in the team selection. I would actually love on Sunday if Antonio and Souček are dropped and basically Moyes, even if we didn't win, Moyes come out and said, well, you've got Sevilla coming up. They've been out of form. I've got rid of them and given some other boys a chance to earn the shirt for Sevilla. Because then the next game, I'd expect a reaction from Souček and Antonio. I'd expect the squad to go, oh, hang about. If he's going to drop them, he'll drop any of us here. But bar Bowen and Rice, I think they're the only two that can say, well, he's not dropping me, mate. But the rest of them, I'd like to think that they would think, Jesus, that's a statement, isn't it, dropping those two? I don't think he will. Saying that, if we do win, I'll enjoy it even more because I always enjoy the games more that I expect us to lose. If we go on and win them, it feels better, doesn't it? That's like when I expect to lose and get beat. It takes the pain away a little bit because I thought, well, I've seen that coming, so it's not a surprise. So it's a surprise defeats hurt more, but the surprise victories, I just enjoy that a little bit more. But I'm going to say West Ham United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1 on Sunday. Apologies, but it's just my honest opinion. We'll be live at 12:55. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff on Sunday, so we'll be live at 12:55 with our build-up as we take a look at the West Ham team, the Wolves team, and how we see the game going ahead with the starting 11s to hand. If you enjoyed this preview, drop a like on it, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Self and Gonzo. Catch you in a bit.